Peace and love, everyone. It's your girl, Karina. Welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are doing well. I am going to say that it is a very big day. The energy is potent. And so I wanted to actually talk on a more masculine level. I'm here. The sun is kind of out. It's election day, or how I like to joke, erection day. Okay. And today is a talk that I feel like is a long time coming. Don't mind this. I don't know what that is. Probably milk from the baby. Okay. um, okay. So today is election day, where I also like to say it is erection day. Okay. And I have a full series on Lilith, and people have been asking me to talk about this. Is going to drive me crazy. It's going to drive me crazy. I'm not really in a great mood right now. Yes, I have a Libra rising, so I can put on face, I can put on the mask, but I am really fighting myself today. And so I need to tap into masculine energy, and I'm doing that by talking to the men out there. Okay, so welcome, all of my queens and goddesses, welcome as well. I love you all. I'm really appreciative of you even taking a little bit of your time, because I know you have so many options of things that you could do, but you come in and you tap into this energy and this frequency, and I appreciate you. Um, Especially on a day like today where I could really be just down in the doldrums, okay? Anyway, enough about me. This video is a Lilith in the signs for men. Okay, I have a full series of Lilith on my channel, and while that series is for everyone, I'm sure that there are times where it seems like I'm being more focused on women because of my disposition. Typically, I will speak from a female point of view, and I feel like there have been some comments in which people want me to speak more to the masculine energies. So that's what this video is for. Okay, now I want to go through Lilith through the signs in a man's chart and how it would work in a man's chart, which means that if you are a man, a god, a king watching this right now, you can go back and watch my little series, okay, and find your placement, and definitely watch that as well. But this one is going to be geared towards you in a very specific way, okay? And I'm going to get to that by first addressing the no fap gold sack movement, okay, because I think it's a great movement. I think that the idea of self-control is something that, and delayed gratification is a very big thing when you are trying to empower yourself and feel more powerful. I think that a lot of men are losing their power to the divine feminine energy because they need to match it. And so the no-fap gold sack movement that happens on YouTube, where men are working on self-control, is a really amazing movement. Okay. But here is the thing, here's my contribution from a female's perspective, but um also from a more Lilith energy. Okay. So I am going to expose Lilith for you guys, and that is when you understand addiction. Okay, and I can only speak from my own addiction. So some of my addictions are, some really tasty foods that I shouldn't be eating, sugary things, coffee. Okay, and so I will go on certain amounts of space and time, similar to what you guys are doing, where I don't partake in certain foods because I need a break and I need to like balance myself out, right? So what ends up happening usually is that I'll go for a good amount of time. I'll be very proud of myself. Oh, this is also for smoking because I also do partake in smoking, and I have been clean for a long time now, years, but then just started again. So this is a vulnerable state that I'm in to tell you guys this, okay? When you withdraw from something and you stay away from it for a long time, it does work and it helps your self control because you know that you can do that. And so this is very powerful. However, if your relationship with that very thing has not been addressed, you are still susceptible to being overcome by it. Okay. So when this comes to men and the no fop and gold sack and all of that, unless you are going to not have sex for the rest of your life or save yourself for your wife or until you find your wife again, right? If you partake in um these rituals, you are practicing self-control, but then you have withdrawn yourself from feminine energy. So when you go back into it, you're still susceptible to being overcome by it all over again, and maybe even more so because you haven't had it in a long time. Okay. um so this idea works, but then it can backfire on you, okay? Because the real thing is dealing with your relationship with feminine energy, with female power, and learning how to control and have dominance within that without being too aggressive and asserting yourself and dominance over another female, and being able to handle succubus energy, which, my friends, is dormant in every person. So, especially if you are, keeping yourself from having sex with a female, it's dormant in every female as well. No matter how virgin Mary she may appear, okay, it's still dormant within her as well, which means any female is susceptible to becoming a succubus onto you. And if you'd like to know more, I have a video on Lilith, sex with Lilith, and I talk a little bit about that in that video. So it's really important that my kings and gods out there really are able to have a relationship with dark goddess energy in which they understand it and they know how to navigate through it. And one of the best ways to do that is to look at where Lilith is in your chart, okay? Where Lilith is in a man's chart will tell you how this energy really cripples you and really pulls you under, okay? Because there's certain parts and certain signs and energies that are you're going to be more prone to, right? And you'll be stronger in the other ones, but when you hit a certain sign, when you hit a certain house where your Lilith is, you may really be pulled under, okay? And so that's what you want to look at. Where Lilith is in the man's chart, it tells you how a divine dark goddess energy can bring chaos to your world. It can tell you how this energy could sexually soak you up. There is a scene from, if you guys don't know the scary movie comedy movies, there's a scene where this guy, he, like, ejaculates, he's erect, he's ejaculating, and like so much, like it just comes pouring out of him that it hits the ceiling, and he like completely goes, like he's like almost sucked all the way dry until he is like a skeleton. It is a hilarious scene. That is succubus energy in a man, for a man's chart, and that is a metaphor for how much it could be. So some of my notes were on this, is if you find, you'll know that you're succumbed if you find that you cannot create, you don't have any motivation, okay? You don't feel like you have any energy to do anything, okay? Ice cream truck, hold on, sweets passing by. So if you lost your creative abilities, you don't have energy, you're tired all the time, you feel weak, you aren't able to, just do your daily things, then this could mean that you have succumbed to Lilith energy. You've succumbed to dark goddess chaos energy. Dark goddess chaos energy can form itself into an actual female, but it can also be in a practice or a habit that you possess as well. Right? The ice cream truck. How divinely in sync is that? Come on. What's up, everyone? Hello, hello, hello. Sending bright healing and light to all. Peace and love. Lilith and Aquarius is in the house. Yes, thank you so much. I do think that this is an important factor, and I think that this helps the conversation to at least begin between women and men, and especially on the spiritual level, because as the energy is rising for divine feminine to really be in dominion, this is not an orderly rise. It's very chaotic. As you can see, 2020 is very chaotic. The 2 and the 0 number in numerology is pure feminine energy, okay? In the 1900s, 1 and 9 is a Sun and Mars planet ruled numbers. So the 1900s was very masculine, showing the extremities of being under masculine domination, or at least a false matrix. Now 2020 is a war, right? It's a feminine war between the false matrix and the original mother, okay? Both will cause immense chaos. And a lot of our sons, husbands, fathers out there are really going to be having difficulty in navigating this because it's basically a pussy war. Okay. And they are scorned. Some of them are scorned from what they experienced in the 1900s, okay, and the 1800s. So their ancestors, that energy, all of it is really fierce, and this is Lilith energy, okay. So where Lilith is in a man's chart, she's a sexual. She will sexually cripple you if you aren't able to control yourself. She is the succubus. She wants you to suck and come until you can't no more, okay, in which she gets all of the power from you and then can do what you want because you become an empty vessel, okay. So for this is a very important conversation to the men out there, because even if you abstain from sex for a long time, I imagine that you are going to want to dive back in. And if you are going to do that, what you really need to do is build a better relationship with your own inner Lilith. If you do that, then you can understand when somebody is putting the moves on you and know how much control or power of yourself you want to give away. Okay. Okay. So before I get into this, I have to say a few more things. One of those things. Okay, ladies, you're going to love me for this because this is truly the case. Okay. If men, you want to gain more power from a succubus, of course, you wouldn't want to do this with any old person. But if you are in a relationship with somebody or having sexual relationship with someone and you're comfortable to do this, going down, eating out your girl, getting that fluid from the vag, it will empower you. It's the same idea, okay? So men pulling from the women's power, right? Ladies, you're gonna love this because you are like a well, you just got it, so you're not gonna be sucked dry, right? But men can actually gain a lot of power by performing a little cunnilingus on their loved females, okay. There, of course, I'm always bigging up this channel. Dreamwise has a video on that, and he is a great channel, and he talks about this, and he talks about the benefits that men can get from going down and performing cunnilingus, of course, on a woman that you have strong healthy relationship with, okay. Because you can really gain a lot of power that way. All right. How do you gain power? Well, first of all, her dopamine levels connected to you is going to be on the top. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you understand her. So being able to know what she likes, being able to get her off on the ways that she enjoys to do it. Because you can get a woman off, but are you getting it in the way that she likes it, right? Because succubus energy is about knowledge, okay? If you have the knowledge about her erotic zones, about the customized way in which she enjoys it, then you are going to pull from her power. And don't worry, she has an endless amount, especially in a year, like in a century, like like the 2000s. So the energy is very supportive of feminine energy, and there's a lot to give. Okay, that's what I'm trying to say. So you don't have to worry about pulling from her power, but you will gain your own power as well by doing this. Okay, and there's a lot of benefits to it. In fact, Dreamwise video, I think one of the things he says is that it helps with the throat chakra. It helps you on some major levels. Okay. Not only that, but you're also connecting and making love and giving love to someone, um, specifically who has goddess energy, because they will be able to cater you back as well. So you also want to focus on queens and goddesses, but goddesses over queens, especially for this kind of ritual. And if you don't know the difference between queens and goddesses, I will have a video on that very soon. So, men out there, you need to be fierce in this pussy war, okay? Even though it's a lot of it is feminine versus feminine wars, okay? And a lot of that is happening, okay? But the feminine war is over the phallus, it's over the penis. It's about who's going to have control over the penis. Will it be the matrix, the false mother, or will it be the original mother? Okay. And so this is what you're going to really be seeing portrayed out in the world for a while now. And so you want to be well equipped so that you can be powerful, that you can infiltrate, you can penetrate, and you can give your ideas and information into your goddesses and help them to be strong within the feminine pussy wars. Okay. Okay. So I hope you guys are getting what I'm trying to say. All right. Let's get into Lilith in a man's chart. Okay. We're going to do this on a level of zodiac matched with the house. So Lilith in a man's chart, if you have Lilith in Aries or the first house, okay? Okay, if you're a man who has Lilith in Aries or the first house, you'll have to understand that this is an energy that is about aggression and assertion, okay? And a woman who wants to be your equal match will be very captivating and crippling at the same time to your energy, okay? This means that if you try to penetrate her, she will try to penetrate you. Now, this may be more on the level of ideas, okay? But it still works out in the bedroom as well, okay? So she will try to infiltrate within you her ideas of leadership, pioneering herself into the world, right? And this is actually one of the placements that I think actually is very beneficial if you're a man and you have Lilith in Aries or the first house, because the energy wants to experience itself. Lilith wants to experience herself in masculine form, and when because she's not doing it physically, she'll do it mentally and emotionally, in which she wants to match you to your emotional peaks. She wants to match you to your mental peaks and then even go beyond that. Okay. So she's in a lot of ways mirroring you, but she's really in competition with you at the same time. Okay. So this will happen on a in personal interaction basis, but also like in the bedroom. All right. In which, yes, this is a typical, atypical, I want to be on top and I want to dominate you. I want to control you, right? And so her whole work will be through her own thrust, through her own penetration, right? But because she doesn't penetrate with her body, at least not in the typical form, she's going to penetrate maybe more with her thrust. So being on top and being able to hold you down, control you in order to do so, right? And I think that for a man who has Lilith in Aries and Lilith in the first house, this will be actually can be a very big turn on and you could be susceptible to it. I think men who have strong Aries, they like strong women, right? And maybe their mothers themselves were strong women, strong personality types who really controlled and dominated them as well. And there's something about that they love and honor. They can also really enjoy like fighting going into sex or having sex when you're mad. Okay. So you want to be very focused on that. Like if you're really like passionately mad or angry or enraged, Lilith energy could say, now's the time for me to mount you and control your rage so that I can gain power from that. And you probably would like that because it's physically pleasing, while at the same time she's pulling at that rage and she can use it for herself. She can guide that fire in the direction that she wants it to be, in which she could say, look, I want you to be mad at this person for me. And now because she has honed in on that energy, she can control that to a degree, okay? And especially with feminine energy, it uses masculine energy for protection. So she might want you to protect her in ways that maybe you wouldn't typically normally would agree to, and or in ways that she needs to learn how to protect herself, okay? But being able to infiltrate this energy means that if you're able to control it and you're able to guide yourself through that Lilith and Aries energy, then you will be able to infiltrate the ideas into her about how she can protect herself rather than you being a vessel for it. So the question is how much of a vessel for Lilith do you want to be? And this is why Aries energy works out, because I feel like a lot of men are happy to be a vessel, of protection for their women. At least some men are, especially with margin energy. You naturally are warriors, so you'll want that to do that. So it's up to you, basically. But if you have the knowledge and the consciousness about how that is working through, then you'll be able to have more input rather than being empty and not recognizing that you're being used, that the feminine energy is using you. Okay. And there's nothing wrong with being used, right? We all use each other to have sex and to make love and get off. But, when we're talking on the spiritual level, you really want to be able to be conscious of it. And so while I only have a few minutes for every sign, I want you guys to think about Aries energy and think about Mars being the god of war, right? And how that works in sex. And think about ways in which you could interpret that. I don't want you to just take my interpretations because mine are just scratching the surface. I want you to really think about your Aries energy and how you can see it playing off with the females and the feminine energy in your life in which you are an easy target or susceptible to that. So when you are conscious of it, you have more control, okay? And this is why actually abstaining works very well for you, because you can delay gratification to ensure that you have partial control in the matters of being intertwined with succubus energy, okay? So she's trying to control the masculine. She's trying to match the masculine. And so she will do this through dominating and taking your dominance and showing you dominance in the bedroom, and also showing you dominance in your moments of rage, right? She will be courageous enough to see that part of you. And you also may have more explosive moments because you have Lilith and Aries. So you're going to be susceptible because Lilith and Aries will explode on certain occasions. And that, while you think you're gaining a lot of power by being like the Hulk, there's somebody else who loves eating green men. You know what I'm saying? So you need to really understand that in a feminine war, that you have to work on a more darker sense. You have to understand intuitively what everything is accumulating to be, right? You have to look intuitively on the strategy of Lilith. So using an inner eye versus your physical eyes, especially with Aries, because Aries is the physical eye, it's the third eye, but there's another eye that is inside, soul eye. That eye works in a very different way than even these eyes, okay? These eyes and this eye, there's a whole different eye that you have to tap into. Okay, so Lilith in the second house or Taurus, all right? Well, this is an energy that will want to compel you to buy things for them, okay? And typically a Lilith, especially when you think about second house, Lilith in this area likes exotic things, which means that you like exotic things, and the female you're working with who may have Lilith, or who maybe be your Lilith, or who may have Lilith herself in the second house, right? If this is just all of that second house energy, you guys like things that everybody else kind of like wouldn't buy. And this is like that energy that would be, willing to spend the money in order to get that exotic thing. Maybe there's an exclusive group of people that you're a part of that like to buy these things or whatever. But she will control you by buying things for you, right? Which then means I gave to you, so now I want you to give back to me, expecting you to buy her even more exotic things, even if she plays coy not to, because Taurus energy is mad chill. So it's not going to be as fearful as if it was like an Aries energy. In Taurus, it's, I got that for you. Like it will be like more low key, nonchalant in a sense, but it's still very much there about, well, what are you going to get for me? What are you going to do for me? What are you going to, I gave, now you must give, because it's Venus energy. It's the we. And it used that manipulation in order to do so. This is a typical space of, if you have a nice car, then she might hop in and, you know, handle all of your physical needs. Okay. This energy is extremely hedonistic and understands that using her body for pleasure and to gain the physical material things that she wants will be her most powerful thing. So if you are to be sucked dry, you may be sucked dry of your money, you may be sucked dry of your possessions, dealing with Lilith if she's in your second house or in Taurus in a men's chart. Okay? This is your atypical, you need to level up in order to have me. You need to have more money in order to have me. I want stability, things like that. Okay? Lilith and Taurus, as I said in Sex with Lilith video, they love to give head. Okay. So if you are like loving those things and you're weak to that, right, then you are going to be easily pulled by Lilith and Taurus, because that Lilith energy will just get straight to the point, taking care of your needs. And now you are hers to possess, right? Taurus is a possession energy. uh the Lilith in a man's chart in a second house or in Taurus is also going to be the jealous type, who can show her jealousy in ways that is kind of offsetting, off-putting, like you having your own life and her wanting to be a part of any facet and factor of your own life. Okay. Even in a partnership, you have your own endeavors, your own goals. You do come together, but you also have your own separate things. And then with Taurus, everything that you have is hers, and that includes even the people in your life. Like everything is hers, so she might want to, you know really kind of like have sex with the people in your life, not on necessarily a physical level, but she wants to be there, she wants to seduce them, she wants them to like her, she wants them to fantasize about her, she wants everything in your life that you own to be hers. All right, that's the Lilith portrayal in a man's chart in the second house or in Taurus. Okay. And so your control is going to be based off of boundaries and communication about these things, right? But also giving her a little bit of what she wants. Maybe that's really the way that I need to do it, is to tell you really how to control it. And then you can build upon what I'm telling you, but understanding the energy will help you to be able to build. So let me just go back to Aries. Like, how you control it is by letting her dominate you a little bit, just not the whole way around, right? Letting her get on top a little bit, but then playing that role where you flip her over and you control things. So never let the domination in the bedroom be over, like if you were to put it in a percentage, don't let it come over yours. Let it be even. Okay? You need to be Eve. You need to be Eve, meaning that you need to be even. Okay? You need to kill that ego halfway through. Okay. For Taurus, it is that you need to give a little bit of what she wants, but then have boundaries so that you are controlling that, right? So that means on a materialistic level, like you want to buy her nice things, so not, and be like, I'm not getting you this right now. You can get it yourself or whatever, and then still like fuck her brains out. Am I allowed to curse on YouTube? I don't know. Still give her what she wants on another level. So the energy is penetration, and I'm not teaching you, I'm telling you guys how to penetrate your Lilith. You know what I'm saying? So like give her some material stuff, then not. And when you pull back, penetrate. So pulling back and then penetrate. You got to maintain that rhythm. Taurus energy is rhythm, okay? If you It's like if you tell a joke and you tell a joke but you don't give the kicker line at the end and you just have somebody hanging, you're going to lose them. And that happens with Taurus energy. You don't want to lose them, you want to go back and forth. So if you withdraw from giving to Taurus, then give back in another light, like sexually. Okay. When somebody is going down on you, and you have to know your ability, especially with Lilith and Taurus in your chart. You have to know if you are somebody who comes quickly or not. Okay. Because if you do quickly, then you need to stop like halfway through, you when you know it's going to happen. This is how that, abstaining can help you, because you can learn how to stop. You can have the self-control to know how to stop and not let her like completely consume you over. Okay. It's a give and take. So you're giving to yourself, but you also are giving to her. So you need to pull her off or stop it or change it up in the midst of just halfway through, not just about to explode, but halfway through you need to stop it. Okay. Or change it up. All right. This is very important, because if you always succumb to receiving, um you are going to be an empty vessel. Okay. I don't know, and I'm trying to say the right things and not have this whole video be banned from YouTube. But look, if it is banned, I'll put it on my Patreon, and then you guys can just join me there and we'll talk more dirty talk there. Okay. Moving on. Lilith in the man's chart, if it's Lilith in Gemini or the third house. This is a very special place because this is about sexy mind. Okay. And men who you can penetrate and you can have sex with people through the root chakra or through the crown chakra. Okay. You can have sex with them through the ideas that they have or through physical. So the third house in Gemini, these people have a very sexy mindset, and this is how they lure you in a man's chart. Okay. And you'll crumble at her feet when she starts talking dirty to you or leaves you sexy text messages. Okay. Because she knows the things to say that would like really, get your mind going, which pulls your fantasies in through the power of the word. Um, this person also knows how, it's just very smart. So their comprehension, they may see things in a very distinct way, very different than other people. And that could be very exciting. This is your typical sapiosexual placement, right? So it's like her mind is like this beautiful place that you can journey into and you want to do it, but she may completely cripple you because maybe there's some delusion there, or maybe there's some really far out from reality concepts there. Okay. And that can pull you out of your own reality. You can find yourself, you know, not abiding by your typical lifestyle, not abiding by certain things that you typically would, because you've changed your mindset. And while it can feel very like you're in an oasis, you're in this whole new world, right? In which you do create your world through your mind. But there are certain realities, shared realities between you and the people in your life, like your friends or whatever, where they're gonna be like, yo, like, where have you been? Or what are you talking about? What girl have you been fucking that makes you think like that now? Like those are typical side effects to dealing with um Lilith if she's in your third house or in Gemini. What's up, Goddess Lilith? Sagittarius Sun square Pisces Lilith in men. Sagittarius Sun squared Pisces Lilith. Well, that's all Jupiter. So that is really like expanding the mind. When I get to Lilith and Sag and Pisces, I'll talk about some of the squares that could happen as well. Awesome. You checked out the Lilith Ascendant video. Yes, I'm going to make more placement videos as well. And I guess I might as well make some aspecting videos to Lilith as well. Everything is basically the same thing, just mixing it in and talking about if it's challenging. Make more content if this is a topic that the astro geeks on my channel who come here love to talk about Lilith. So why not? So with Lilith in Gemini, or in your third house, right? In a man's chart, the man has to control how deep he goes into her mind, how deeply he wants to sign up for her mind. Okay. And this has to be done on a level of respect versus not. If you don't respect her mind, then you will no longer have her in your life. And so if you want to get rid of that Lilith, that's how you do that. But if you want to keep her around, but just maintain boundaries on how far out she will take you with her exotic mindset, then you just want to kind of approach it in a way in which it's like, it's almost like a session. It's like a therapy session. You're like, yeah, like, you guys can drink or smoke together, have a moment where you fantasize and you dive into the way that she thinks. And then you can rebuttal with, you know, um kind of like combining your realities with what she's saying. Like, so saying stuff like, yeah, like if only, my friends could really me and my friends could see things this way. Okay. Why friends? Because the third house is friends, and your friends and your extended family and your family members might play a big role in this, in challenging you. So you just want to rebut in a way in which it's still respectful, but bringing in your shared reality with them. Like, oh, like my friend, like he would never understand this. Like, it's crazy that you think this way, but he would never understand this. And using a masculine energy versus a feminine energy in order to penetrate that exotic mind. That's an example of how to control it, because um otherwise you'll just enjoy it and you may not be able to pull yourself out, right? And it could affect everything. It could affect your friendships, your work, everything, because she's basically destroying your mindset and bringing you into hers, okay? And on a sexual level, this is very, like I've said, sex with Lilith, it's dirty talk. So, honestly, it's just about it's about being able to match that, but just know that that is one of the ways that Lilith works herself out. Lilith can also lie, right? There could be a lot of just stories or things are just not true on a very superficial level, and that could play very well in this placement, because it's like, oh, let me pretend to, talk dirty to you in a way that's not real, but it's fun, and it's fun in the bedroom, right? And so you just want to be conscious of that. Don't think that what she's saying is real. Don't think that you need to believe it fully, and don't, if you feel any certain hesitance off of how crazy her mouth can go when it comes to dirty talk, then you might want to calm yourself down, control it, and pull yourself away from it. The basic thing about this is, what I'm trying to say is, don't fall into a fairy tale land. Okay. Remember that it's a story being told to you. Remember that it is there to entice you, and have a relationship with it in which you are, like when you watch a movie, that it's not real. You might be immersed into it until it's over, but you know that it's not real. That's the language that is being portrayed to you with Lilith and Gemini and in the third house. Okay. Goddess Lilith asks, if we have Lilith aspecting Pluto in synastry, who has more power, Lilith or Pluto? Great question. First thing is, what degree is the Lilith and Pluto? Okay. They are very good contenders. They're very good contenders. What degree is Lilith and Pluto at? Because if it's at a early degree, then whoever's at the earlier degree may be a little bit less mature. Pluto is going to destroy like Lilith does. But and they're both related to sex. They both are very related. It's actually a great question. So I would definitely say look at the degree. The older degrees are more wiser. Okay. And then you also want to look at the zodiac sign, because the zodiac sign is split into 3 decans, and each decan is rulership over something. So um they could be portraying themselves in a different way based off of the decan that they're a part of. Okay, going into Lilith in the fourth house, or Lilith in Cancer in a man's chart. Okay, now this is directly related to his mother. And this Lilith in your chart, fellas, is going to want to create a really great relationship with your mother, your family. If you have children already, your children, right? They want to be family to you. Okay. And you can probably, more than likely, you have something in you that feels missing in your family. Right. So if you have your mother around, maybe she's not physically around, maybe maybe you're, unfortunately, your mother's passed, or she doesn't physically live near you, or you have a little discord with your mother. And here comes Lilith, like, oh well, I could fill that place. I could be your mother, your wife, and more. Because that's the true mother. The true mother is all. Okay. And Lilith will show you that in the fourth house. She will show you that she can be your mom. There's a lot of ladies out here that's like, I'm not gonna be your mama. You guys know the song from J Lo. Dun, 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 dun. I ain't your mama. Dun, dun, dun. I ain't your mama. I ain't your mama. No, I ain't your mama. Lilith in the fourth house will be like, I'll be your mother. You want me to cook for you? Fold your underwear? Watch your children? I'll do it, because she will destroy whatever is the current concept. Um, so divine feminine energy has no rules. If you think about like the fantasy categories, like in pornography, and it's like, like the mother is like watching, like, I don't know, like the babysitter and the mother situations, or stepson and mother situations. That's Lilith and Cancer, my friends. Okay, so she will fulfill that role for you. Yes, yeah. And Cancer is the boobs, so that's the nurturing thing. So she will pull out, when a man sees boobs, it's double. It's sexual and it's nourish. Okay? When a female sees boobs, it's nourishing too. That's why women can look at other women, like, because, like, I can look at other women's boobs and be like, "Oh my gosh, those things are gorgeous." Right? Right? Because it's actually coming from a very deep psychological place where we all were breastfed, or related to the boobs as being that's where we got our milk. It's deep, okay? That's why in my Venus in Cancer videos, I talk about how the colors of beauty and fashion in Cancer is like these milky colors, okay? Because Cancer is milk energy, it's nourishment. Okay, so in a man's chart, when Lilith is here, she might do these things. She might wear like milky colors. She might have this air of mother, but also kinky, girlfriend or wife or concubine, whatever you want. And she'll play all those roles for you, and she will easily stand out from all of the women who are like, well, I don't want to do that. They say, there's a saying that goes like, a man will look for, what he doesn't get in his current women from somebody else. And this is how she would fulfill that. And this is how she would win a very strong war in the feminine wars. And Cancer is a very big role in the feminine wars. So she will probably be one of the ones that wins. Okay. So how do you control yourself with that? You have to know what your relationship with your mother was, and what were the things that you honored and loved about your mother. Because those will be the things that she will be trying to figure out and be knowledgeable about. That way, when she pulls that out on you, you will be able to see it clearly. And if you want to abide by it, you can. And if you don't, you'll have the conscious decision not to. You know what I'm saying? And that's actually going to create an even deeper relationship with that woman, because she's exposed and she doesn't need to be in hiding. You know, it doesn't need to be hidden about the succubus intentions. That is, I wish I'd said this in the beginning of the video. That is the key for masculinity, and for men and kings and gods to understand, is that feminine energy is hidden. Okay, and we all have secrets, we all have things that are hidden, we have intentions that are hidden. But when you expose the intentions, now it becomes masculine, because masculine is light and order and what you can see. So if you can see the intentions, now you have half control in what is happening. That is the basically the lesson in everything, right? But when it comes to sex and succubus energy, you have to find what her intentions are. And you can't feel a certain way. If you feel like, oh, these women, they're crazy and they're bad, then you are actually fighting with the feminine energy in yourself. You're fighting with the feminine energy that you're going to deal with. And this can lead to some dangerous things, you know. It can lead to this is why over masculinity and patriarchal systems became into play, because they didn't like the intentions. It's not about liking the intentions. You just have to see that they're there, okay? You don't have to like them, you don't have to not like them. You have to see that they're there. You have to approach it from a place of even, okay? You have to be Eve. This is the key. Lilith's opposition is Eve, which is perfection. Perfection is not what you think it is. All perfection is light, it is form, it is order. And Eve is the form of the perfect woman. Okay. So you will be upset because you will see the intentions. You'll be like, this woman is not the perfect woman. But that is a patriarchal idea of what a woman is. And that's the exact thing that Lilith is trying to destroy. So all you have to do is to be Eve rather than want Eve from her. And how do you be Eve? You be Eve by recognizing with your light the intention, the darkness behind it. When you're Eve, you can see the light. The light is like the evening is sunset, right? You see the sun going down. That's what it is. You can see you can see that the light is going down. You can see the darkness. You can dive into the darkness. So you have to come from a very neutral place. That's why the evening is also governed by the seventh house, which is Libra, the scales. You have to be even. You can't be emotional about it. You can't choose a position, right? And men, especially very competitive men who like sports and whatnot, they love to choose a side. You can't choose a side when dealing with the feminine energy. You have to be even. You have to be like the scales. You have to be like Ma'at. You have to be even. Okay. I'm exhausted. um Thank you for the comments. I'm reading them all. And you guys are awesome. Thank you for the support. So I hope that I have covered Lilith in Cancer and in the fourth house for you. And I'm going to do timestamps because I want to make sure that that little thing that I did will be highlighted so that you can just jump to that if you want to hear it again, because it's now submerged and wedged between the fourth house and the fifth house. And not everybody will watch it because not everybody has the fourth and the fifth house placement. So, yeah. Hi, Carla. Welcome. Thank you for all of your support. I see your comments on other videos. You're the best. I appreciate it. Okay. Um, we're at the fifth house. Lilith in the fifth house or in Leo in a man's chart. Okay. She is going to control you through the art of entertainment. Okay. This one is a very easy one for me to interpret. It's very easy. This is strip clubs, burlesque dances, lap dances, anything that has to do with entertainment. Okay. If you are Lilith in Leo or Lilith in the fifth house, you like shows, you like concerts with sexy women. Okay. You definitely could be one that likes pornography, but probably like the ones where they're like dancing, twerking, things like that, where they're like giving a show. Okay. But this is definitely strip club placement. And men who have this placement are probably going to be the more likely addicted to things like strip clubs. Okay. Because Lilith doesn't operate just through one person, it operates through certain avenues. Okay. Leo and Pisces, these are the easiest ones for me to interpret because the avenues are so clear. Okay. But again, I want you guys to think about the things that I'm saying through the signs, and then add on top of what I'm saying, because all I am is the door to open up the door for you. But you know these zodiac signs, and now that I'm telling you the Lilith energy, you can combine it with your own knowledge. Okay. So Lilith in the fifth house you want to gamble and spend your money. That's why like strip clubs is also like gambling, and the fifth house is also gambling, right? Because your money's not going in any certain direct pocket. I mean, it is going in the pocket of your entertainment, you know. So the same thing as like giving your money in the movie theater, right? But you might spend a little bit more at a strip club, you know what I'm saying? And so she will pull you and soak you dry through that avenue, meaning that she will take up your time, right? Like your entertainment time. So if you share entertainment with other people, she can suck you dry from taking up that ability to have relationships with other people, because you are so involved in just being entertained by Lilith. She will take your money. Definitely in the fifth house, she will take your money, all of it. Okay, like Taurus, which is all, they're both on the fixed cross, Leo and Taurus. So they're all about money. Okay. So she will take your money, all of it. She wants all of your money. She does not care. And she definitely wants someone who has more money than others, also like Taurus. Okay. This is why you're going to have these, like I said, we're in a feminine war. We're in a feminine war right now, spiritual wars. And even though it's light, there's also light wars, and there are also masculine wars, but I'm talking specifically about the Lilith feminine war, in which certain women are going to say, no, I need a provider, and other women aren't going to see that as very necessary. They're willing to bring a man up without him having to be a millionaire or whatever. So Lilith in the fifth house wants the millionaire, or at least someone who has a lot of money close to that, or on their in their direction of that. They want a king. They want a king. They want somebody who matches the concept of worship, or people who follow them, because people follow kings. They listen to kings. They fear kings. So they want your fear as well. Okay. So this is also side chick energy, because side chick energy manipulates off of fear. Okay. I'm not going to say that you can have Lilith in another placement and not have a side chick, but if you have a Lilith in the fifth house or in Leo and you have a side chick, she will use the fear that you have of getting caught to control you. Okay, I think you guys thought I was going to just talk about sex. Lilith is sexual and psychological, because you can have sex through the mind or through the body. And she has sex through your mind, through your fears. Okay, because Leo is actually very sensitive. That's why it's like, it's not like a warrior or a rock. It's a lion, and lions can be ferocious, but they can be courageous, but they can also lack that. And you can lose your ferocity, and you can lose your courage when you don't want to deal with the truth. And if you have something that can show your truth in a way that wouldn't be adored, then they will use that against you. So you have to really watch out in this placement, because this Lilith may not necessarily be someone that you want to keep. Okay. Because a lot of the ones I'm talking to could be your wife, could be your girlfriend I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? I'm not just talking about random chicks, even though that could apply too. But this placement, it feels more like random people. Why? Because the fifth house is also the house of short term relationships. The seventh house is the house of dating, I mean, of marriage, but the fifth house is the house of dating. The fifth house is the house of courtship, it's of short term relationships. So typically, the role players of Lilith in this placement is going to be people that you wouldn't see yourself with for a very long time. And if you are, you're moving them into the seventh house. So if you're moving this person to the seventh house, then you have to be willing to be exposed. You have to be willing to face your fears, right? One of your fears might be facing a sexual fetish, or a sexual habit or addiction that you have, that is being hidden from the people in your life. Fifth house is children, so it could be being hidden from your children. Okay, you could also have children with other women that need to be exposed. You need to be willing to be exposed in the fifth house. Then you gain back your control. Okay. Leos, for some reason, don't like to be exposed. Maybe it's because they're on the fixed axis with Scorpio. Okay. Scorpio also doesn't like to be exposed. But Scorpio is a digger. Scorpio is willing to dig deep for the truth. Leo doesn't even want to see the truth. That's why they square Scorpio. They don't get along. You are so blinded by a false light with Lilith in the fifth house and in Leo. You're blinded by a false light. Those strippers do not care about you, they just want your money. Please understand this. A lot of men understand this. But if you have Lilith and Leo, you might really think that this girl wants to have sex with you, that she enjoys rotating her body for a bunch of men. Okay? If she has a Lilith in Aquarius, she might, but most of them are there because it's a job like anything else. Reality is going to help you gain your control back in the fifth house. For my kings out there who think that they really are to be worshipped and have the delusion that they are just regular people, for stars and celebrities who think that because they have a certain amount of money that they can, have sex with whatever and they won't catch diseases, catch children that they don't want, catch all of these things. It's a very ego driven Lilith here. And in the man's chart, he must actually think he's invincible. Sorry if I'm offending anyone. I'm really sorry. I don't know any men with Lilith and Leo, but the energies are just speaking to me like, yeah. Okay, let's move on. Lilith in the sixth house or in Virgo in a man's chart. Lilith is very willing to be an act of service in this energy. And so typically your Lilith role player is going to be somebody that you work with if you have Lilith in the sixth house. Those typical like office fantasies where you're like, ooh, I wonder if my boss wants me to come in there and close the blinds and let me work for my paycheck. It's a typical placement that enjoys work, okay? And because of that, because you have this dark energy of service, Lilith will also match you to that degree, okay? And she will be and do for you whatever it is that you want, okay? Some people really, really, really get their kicks off of people just doing for them. You know what I'm saying? Like, let me, clean this desk for you. Let me handle this errand for you. Let me just handle your business, right? You don't want to think about all the nits and bits and details of all the things that you have to do on a daily basis. And Lilith and Virgo will come in and be like, look, I'll take care of it for you. She will play your secretary and you will love her for it and you will want to fuck her for it too. Thank you so much for taking care of that for me. Come, let daddy give you a little treat. Yes, Lilith and Virgo in the sixth house really plays to your needs for service, okay? And what she will suck you dry of is your actual control over your details of your life. So if you're not like paying your bills anymore because you don't know when they're coming in, you don't check your mail, you don't do certain things that just are the little bits that you need to take care of yourself, it's maybe because you have maybe it's because you have completely succumbed to the energy of Lilith and she now is controlling all of the little details of your life that are gone, right? And she can either take it's also a fantasy, it's mystery, so it can actually be happening that she takes care of these things, or it's just a fantasy of yours that she is, but really nobody's taking care of it, and she's just playing the role rather than actually doing anything as well, because it's on the axis of Virgo and Pisces, which is fantasy. So Lilith will pull from her polarization. She is not in order, fellas. She does not play by orders. She plays by chaos. Okay. So when we're looking at the zodiac, look at the polars. What is her polar opposite? What is her squares? She will pull from those energies as well. She's trying to destroy the whole zodiac. not Ophiuchus. Ophiuchus is trying to belong to the zodiac. Ophiuchus is the key into a different realm. Lilith is trying to destroy the whole zodiac. She doesn't want all this order and this time and all those things anymore. She doesn't want all these rules. You know what I'm saying? She doesn't want any of that. She wants to destroy it. And in Virgo is connected to the concept of suffering, because when you look at the reality of Virgo, this is going to go a little to the conspiracy side, so bear with me, but you can almost see that you are here on this earth for a certain amount of time and you're supposed to do something every day. What is it that I do every day? Right? This is why Virgo is obsessed with the mediocrity of the little nitbit things that we don't think of, but when they obsess over it, it becomes a fulfilling life, a concept of vocation, right? You can lose your vocation when you are susceptible to Lilith, because the every little bit details of things is a concept that we are here in this empty space for an empty amount of time to do with what we want, and you could lose that whole thing, right? You can lose the whole thing, the purpose of that you create in this space of life. Okay, so some people might say, oh, life goes by fast, but in Virgo, life is very slow. Tick tock, you're just watching the clock. Tick, tick, tick all day long, right? You are in this place of space. And how do you fill that space? It's very masculine and it's also feminine, because it's a space that needs to be filled and it's you that needs to fill it. So you need to fill that Lilith with your purpose. You need to fill her with your purpose. If she's going to be a secretary to you, she needs to really do shit. She needs to really actually carry out an errand. She doesn't need to do it all the time, but she needs to do it. You need to be telling her what to do. You need to manage Lilith in this placement. You need to have purpose and let her really want to serve you, not serve you just for her own needs, but you guys need to even out, right? Like I said before, you need to even out. So here, she will be willing to even out with you more than any other Lilith because she's in Virgo. But if you have no purpose and your purpose and space in life is empty, then she will be able to do whatever she wants with that purpose and space, meaning that she will destroy it and you have bills running up the muck and you have dishes running in your sink and you have a life that is kind of messy, or she will help you bring order to your life by putting in her own order. What is it that she wants to fulfill? And that alone will be the only thing, because you're an empty vessel. So don't be an empty vessel, fellas. Be even. Come halfway. Come halfway. Physically, sexually, and mentally. Have purpose. Have purpose. And you will be able to handle Lilith, okay? In the 6th house or in Virgo. Okay, so Lilith in Libra or in the 7th house. Like I said, in Sex with Lilith, Lilith in Libra is the most beautiful person that you have ever had sex with, because the Virgo and Libra energy, especially when you look at it from sidereal and you look at the actual constellations, they're both intermingled, right? And they both actually work in the sense of beauty. It's the ultimate female, Virgo and Libra. Okay, so Libra becomes the ultimate female through beauty. Okay, and she serves you through her beauty, in which she will even manipulate, change her body, surgery, whatever, to become the object of your attention. Which brings me to another rule of femininity, even though femininity doesn't have rules, but they kind of do, just in a very obscure way, is that feminine energy wants attention. Okay? They want attention. This is also a war between in the feminine world. What females are fighting over is the attention of each other and the attention of the phallus. That's why when women are really trying to be beautiful and they're in their Libra energy of Venus, they are also in competition, not just to get your attention, fellas, but to also say who is the most beautiful. That is Lilith and Libra. I want to be the most beautiful person. And then you could see how it goes far out the left way, in which she's like, She's completely manipulated herself to be the ugliest person. That can also happen. And you will see that a lot of people will demonize Lilith and think that she is very ugly. She's portrayed as being either really dark or just really ugly, right? That is because of a Venus point of view of Lilith. Okay. So here, this is your thing. Whatever it is that you fear to be ugly, she will be either the opposite of that or destroy you with that. Okay. Destroy means to change in your idea and concept and in your attraction of what it is that you put your attention to as being ugly or beautiful. Okay. So if you think that something is ugly, she might shift that for you to make you like it, or she will shift herself. So she will either shift the idea or she will shift herself to be more along the lines of what you find to be attractive and beautiful. It depends on how much she has control over you. So Lilith in Libra is trying to be your ultimate object of attention. Okay. And she is in competition. She won't admit it, but she is in competition because her polar opposite is Aries, the competitor, and she's competing with the other women to be the most beautiful. That's actually the dark side of Libra as well. Okay. So with Lilith here, you have to know what your fears are, meaning that if you're a guy, look, I am around a guy who does this and I love him to death, but if you're a guy who's like, I love all women, you know what I'm saying? Lilith does not believe that. And she knows you have a certain type. Type is a big thing for Virgo and Libra. What is your type? Okay. Everybody is casted in a role. Everybody has an object of attention. In the eye of the beholder is the true beauty, which means that beauty is only based off of what you see, right? It goes deeper than that. But for the likes of this conversation, I'm trying to get you to admit to me right now that you have a type. Admit it, Lilith and Libra, or in the seventh house. Admit it, you have a type. That type is based off of what you fear is ugly. So, what is it that you think is ugly? Know yourself, know thyself with Lilith and Libra so that you can handle whatever it is that she is going to pull from you. So if you know that you don't like this type of person or this type of beauty look or whatever, know that because she will know it. She will figure it out and she will know it without you telling her. And she will operate on that to either change that idea within you or to become the opposite and become your object of attention. Why is that so bad? Well, if you are unaware of these things, then she will control your eyes. She will control your direction. She will control what you like. She can control whatever it is that you have your attention on. She can control your attention. Okay. Now we're starting to get more into Scorpio, but it's right in that middle. That's why Libra is the even because it's holding up Virgo and Scorpio. Okay. It's holding those things up. All right. So she is leaning towards control, which goes into Scorpio. But a lot of it is manipulation at this point. Her ability to change your eye, change your mindset, or change for you is the key. So just having the awareness of what your fears are when it comes to beauty. What is it that you find is ugly, basically? And you should be able to come in with more control when dealing with a Lilith and Libra, okay? And if you told her this will be a major ego shatter, she will be able to handle it. She may not show it. She may be pissed at you, might fight a little bit, whatever. But if you told her like, I don't really like it when you wear too much makeup. If that's the truth, like that's an example, right? That would shatter her ego. Lilith loves an ego shatter. Okay. So you're not going to push her away if you do that. What you will do is control to empower yourself, right? To say, okay, if you're going to be whatever I want you to be, then let me tell you what I like and what I don't like. It's very manipulative, but we're working in dark energy, and dark energy in Libra is very manipulative. She's really not about anything but tapping into all of your needs. She is the deep and ultimate dark goddess, people pleaser. Okay. So You might want to be like, well, just go off and be independent of me. But if she's independent of you, then she's just going to direct her people pleasing magic powers on somebody else. So you have to decide if you even want this person in your life like that. But understand that if this is a person that you care about, that is, somebody you're dating, somebody that you want to be with, somebody that you're married to, then you have to understand that she wants to please you on the deepest levels. And so you just need to control it so she doesn't completely manipulate you 100%. So you just want to know yourself. You need to know what it is that you have the tendency to fall into so that you are conscious of it. Okay. It's not easy to have a relationship with your um with succubus energy. It's not easy. It's not easy for me to even describe it because I don't have all of the answers, but I know that there are ways in which the astrology is showing us how we can be more sovereign, more free to our tendencies. Okay. And Lilith shows you where you will succumb to all of your addictions, all of your deep desires, all of those things, which leads me into Lilith in Scorpio or eighth house in a man's chart. Now, Scorpio, like I said, is the ultimate controller. Okay. They don't have to investigate like Libra does, they don't have to research like the other signs do. They naturally know. They have a lot of wisdom, they have a lot of experience, sometimes through trauma. And so they have already a lot of season when it comes to learning a person, when it comes to knowing their intentions and their darkest desires. And the biggest thing with this placement is that they are dangerous, because if your intentions, one of the things about this placement is that you have a lot more control than you think just going into it, because they will let you have a little bit of control, but they really want to control you. So you also have to be willing for that energy. If you allow a Scorpio to control you, then they will love you forever. So it depends on what you want out of this person, but you also have to understand that their emotions are very deep. Like I said, more than likely they have a lot of wisdom and experience because they have experienced some trauma as well, probably on a sexual nature. Okay, so when they are interacting in their rest of their lives, they're a little on edge. Okay, the control helps them to be free, where in a certain situation they were not. That's actually the secret to Scorpio and understanding Scorpio. So Lilith in Scorpio wants to control you through your sexual desires and all of those things. The biggest thing, like I said, is that they're dangerous. So you have to be pure in your intentions with Lilith and Scorpio. And the only thing that I recommend is that if you want them, then fuck with them. But if you don't want them, if you want this to be a one night stand or whatever, don't mess with a Lilith and Scorpio. Okay. It is very dangerous to do so. They are very, they can be very violent energies. Okay. And part of them is justified in that because anybody that they have sex with is, like I said, like in Cancer, like the role of the mother and the wife, whatever. In Scorpio, you're playing various roles. You're playing their abuser, right? And their healer. You're playing their sexual partner and their abuser and their healer. Okay. And this is why this placement is not to be messed around with. So if you have Lilith and Scorpio, you will crumble at the blade of their knife. It's not, it's no psychological thing about it as much as Scorpio's psychology. It's more of a dangerous aspect. Okay. So you have to know your intentions and you have to know them. All Scorpios know astrology. They know, certain Scorpios know it at a deeper degree, but astrology is also ruled by Scorpio. So they probably already looked up your chart. They probably already know certain things about your astrology and things like that. They already have drawn to conclusions about what your personality is like, what they think you're like in bed. You know what I'm saying? They can be a chameleon, they could be anything for you, but are you willing to commit to them and be trustworthy of them? That is the question. It's really simple in Scorpio. Do not mess with them unless you plan to be an important plan for them to be important in your life. Moving on, Lilith in Sagittarius or Lilith in the ninth house in a man's chart. Well, this Lilith is like a guru. So actually something I don't consider myself a guru. I consider myself like a student who is sharing what she has learned, right? But somebody wrote something about me being an occult teacher in one of the comments, and I told them I thank God I'm not. But if you were to see me as such, because by chance I happen to be online live and now apparently I'm a guru because I'm talking about astrology, whatever. People make up things in their minds, okay? You would be the type that has a fetish for people who have knowledge, who are like gurus, who claim to be healers and things like that, okay? I don't claim to be that, all right? I am not trying to be that. Okay, but somebody who has Lilith in Sagittarius might be susceptible to somebody like myself who's like sharing knowledge, higher learning, higher spirituality, and they are now fantasizing and wanting to be with this person because they are, apparently higher on the level of energy and frequency, things like that. So Lilith and Sagittarius, they are looking for their godlike figure. Maybe in their growing up, they may have had a discord relationship with God and maybe even with death, right? Because we're coming out of Scorpio. They may have like either so deeply addicted to church like things and like be in hard religion, or the opposite, completely dispelling religion and seeking for somebody to replace that. Okay, if they are like really deep in religion, like maybe they had like a crush on their pastor or something like that, or their pastor was like really sexually active or whatever, and so now in life they're looking for somebody to replicate that or replace that. So it's a replacement of a guru. And so Lilith here can be that replacement for you. She can fill in the shoes of whoever introduced you to the concept and the ideas of God, right? This is a true goddess placement. Okay, Lilith wants to be a goddess, which in the sense of goddess here, we're talking about she wants to be worshipped. She not only wants you to respect her, think that she's beautiful, but she wants you to adore her as if you are, as if she is like an idol on your, like a bronze, copper, gold idol sitting on your shelf or on your altar. She wants to be on your altar. Okay. And that is kind of the energy that Lilith, who's role playing, will come here in the ninth house and be, right? You might find that you like that she trains you, that she coaches you, that she shares knowledge with you, that she helps uplift you. Then you go out into your own circles of influence and you now are gaining more reputation because of the ideas and the wisdom that she has spread within you. So she is controlling and manipulating you because she's becoming your god and she's helping you to be godlike for everybody else. So this Lilith is one of the ones that's very powerful and also very active today. Lilith in Sagittarius, okay, or in the ninth house. So this also can play to the needs of a control in a way that is not hands on, right? It's a control in the series of faith, right? A lot of women probably would love to meet the needs of a Lilith in Sagittarius, meaning like become a true goddess in the eye of a certain male figure, right? Um, being loved and adored that way can have a lot of weight, but it can also be something that uplifts the ego and the confidence, okay? The thing with this placement is that it's very appetizing, so it's actually hard for me to explain this one because thinking about it, there's parts of me that are like, oh yeah, that would just be lovely. But I also have my asteroid Lilith in Sagittarius, so that might explain why I'm having difficulty trying to show you how to control this because it is a dark Lilith energy of mine as well, even though the asteroid isn't dark energy like the black moon. or Waldemath or whatever, but Lilith and asteroid still wants to manifest it in life. And I think that I'm just being vulnerable with you that this is a placement of mine. So it's hard for me to be like, well, how do you control this power? And the thing that I would say is um what I would probably advise is that you learn who it is that she adores and sees as her guru and God. Because if I understand myself and being in this power, that would be a way for me to control my need for you to find me to be the ultimate goddess, right? Is that you meet me evenly in learning about what it is that I adore, right? So as Lilith in Sagittarius or in the ninth house in a man's chart, learn what it is that she is seeing as her guru and learn it. You don't have to worship it, but learn it because that will help you be in consciousness. It'll pull you out of the lure and make you to see things from a more objective point of view, which is the true rise of the highest Lilith. It's to be more objective about things. Okay. And you will see from this placement that this concept of guru on a human, you'll be reminded that it's not real. Okay. And you can worship her and adore her and love her as you want. If this is a Lilith role that you want in your life, if it's not, then don't worship her and she will lose her powers. But if you want this person who embodies Lilith in your life and they're either they have Sagittarius ninth house or you have Sagittarius ninth house, you're going to have to enjoy worshiping them, but also be in reality that they are not really gods. Okay. So you can give them the goddess treatment, but also know that she is just as flawed as anybody else, which means when she gives you something that seems to be absolute truth, that it should be questioned. It can also be contested, but if you don't want to fight, because Lilith and Sagittarius will fight your ass, um, at least question it within yourself so that you can maintain balance when dealing with this Lilith. And in the bedroom, that will also be the thing because Lilith in Sagittarius and sex is mind and body. So it's mind and beast. And sometimes they're separate. Sometimes this can go into a world in which it's just let me fulfill you and help. Let's do like sex magic together. Let's fulfill each other's bodies and reach into our higher realms of our mind and access the ethers, and it can get really really spiritual combinations of sex and spirituality, which can be a lot of fun because Sagittarius is also about exploration. You guys can explore all different kinds of things in the bedroom as long as you see in reality that this is still a flawed being because her Lilith is really trying to get you to see that she should be worshipped. Okay. And then you can operate in a place of more balance. Okay. Thank you so much, Eve. That's such a sweet thing to say. Uh, Ja Kim, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right. Thank you so much for tuning in, you guys. You guys are really sweet. I appreciate the love. Seventh house Capricorn Lilith. Ooh, we're about to get into Lilith and Capricorn. Okay. I know a little bit about this placement because my daddy has this placement. And he pushed me to be the highest of success that I could possibly be when I was a child. And Lilith in a male's chart, okay, which is actually really good. And I should have thought about this before I started this, that it doesn't just have to be your sexual partner because I was Lilith in my father's chart. So, and that's interesting because Capricorn represents the father. So Lilith in a man's chart, if she is in Capricorn or the 10th house, right? Lilith is a role to be controlled so that you can gain a great, big, successful, accomplished life. Okay. Now, when it comes to sex, right? We're gonna stop talking about father and children for a second because it's not the kind of thing I like to talk about. But when it comes to sex with a Lilith in your 10th house, this person is like the 6th house in Virgo, in which they will have sex with the people that they work with. But they're not going to just have sex with a coworker. They're going to have sex with the boss for sure, because sex with the boss can lead to even higher ranks in their career. Don't judge them for it. This is the reason why people rise in the industry, whether you'll like it or not. Okay, so Lilith in Capricorn understands that rising to the top means being sexually um influenced to become rising to the top. So either they will sleep with certain people, right? Or they will be sexy to get ahead, because sex sells in this matrix. Whether you like it or not, it's the case. Okay. And Capricorn is the god of time, right? And it's the god and the energy of hard work, right? So sex is like a cheat code. And Lilith, like I said, destroys time. She doesn't want to work hard like that. She just wants to get to where she wants to get to. And sex with Lilith and Capricorn in the 10th house in a man's chart is a cheat code. Okay. So either he is having sex with her in order to gain rank, or she's having sex with him to gain rank, depending on who has this placement, right? But in a man's chart, she's the role of climbing to the top. Okay. She may possess already respect and an authority that is very captivating to him. He is the ultimate, I ain't messing with no dusty ass chick, Lilith in Capricorn. I am messing with somebody who needs to have prominence in the world, who works hard, who's about her business, who's trying to make some money, who's trying to grow to the top, who's trying to leave a legacy, things like that, right? If it's not that, then he wants a woman who's like your atypical patriarchal 1950s stay-at-home wife. Okay, it's going to be either one or the other. You need to understand, he, the one that I'm talking to, that you desiring a certain order from Lilith is how she controls you. Okay. Please understand that Capricorn is in the opposite polar axis of Cancer. And if you don't treat this Lilith right, she will cut you off at the head by putting something in your food, by doing something at home as your housewife that will lead you to some awful accident in which you can't work anymore, in which you will be disrespected for the rest of your life. And this is how this Lilith will crumble you. She will crumble you. So don't even try it with Lilith in Capricorn in your chart. Okay. Please understand that you have certain ideals that you think a woman should be. And if she is not happy, she will turn that shit around on you, because she does not operate from this sense of order ever, even in Capricorn. Okay. So please understand that. All right. So the thing with this is becoming her equal. Do not try to be her authority just because you got Lilith in Capricorn and you think that you're running shit. Because when you're dealing with Lilith, you're in a feminine war, and it is not easily to be seen what her next move or intention is going to be. Okay. Now, the thing with the that was specifically to the housewife Lilith. Now, if you have a role of Lilith and you like a woman who's business and she's out there, she's CEO of her stuff or whatnot, she's gonna just want you to support her. And so be that. Don't be against her in her endeavors, and don't try to make her even better. She's already there, right? The biggest thing that you have to do is to support her, is to be even. Because in this placement, if you're looking for her to be the authority, more than likely your mother was maybe something like that, or your mother was not that, and you want her to fulfill that. Maybe your mother wasn't able to provide for you, or she was like somebody else's, oh god, I hate to say this, but I can't find the right words. Like she was somebody else's puppet, somebody else's, somebody else, it from your perception, may have been controlling your mother on how she did things. Maybe your mother was abused, maybe your mother was seemed to be weak in your eyes, and so you have Lilith and Capricorn, and you want a woman that appears to fill that role, that appears to be strong, right? So now this woman takes the place of a woman weak mother that you perceive to be weak, right? To some degree. So it can manifest in different ways. That's just an example. And if that is the case, I'm really sorry because I feel so bad for children who may have to experience that. When you're dealing with a Capricorn Saturnian energies, it's more likely to happen. And so you're looking for this woman to be that replacement, right? Or equal. Like maybe your mother was just already a big bad CEO already, and that's all that you know. So it's maybe either one. Lilith here just needs you to support her rather than trying to control it, and also to have the conscious awareness of what role she is filling in your life. The other thing is you have to have purpose and you have to be working on your legacy too. Be even to Lilith, match her energy so that you will not succumb to her power. If you do succumb to your power, you might find that you are her puppet and you're just running around doing whatever she wants, right? And when you guys have sex, she is the one controlling everything. She might want you to take more control, but you've lost your ability to control because you've lost your ability to have purpose in life and your ability to have power and your own sense of authority in life, right? So it's a double-edged sword. It's like you want this energy to be strong in your chart, but you have in your life, in your lifestyle, but you have to also come even, because if you don't, then you lose a lot of your sexual power and you won't be able to please her either, because very dominant Liliths manifested typically in the bedroom want to let go of that role so that they can be more submissive, and it will be very enticing for her to be able to be more submissive. But if you don't have the cojones to do it because you have completely been sucked dry, then you will not fulfill her in the bedroom either. And this is why a lot of like women who are in power have difficulty right now. That's a Lilith and Capricorn energy because they're so powerful that they um suck dry a man's desire to want to be powerful. They fulfill already a part of him and he might feel like he doesn't have to do anything, right? And so now there's this whole trend of like dusty guys and like, you know, no whatever, like guys who don't have anything, and it's like it's their divine reflection, right? So it's a very serious war when we think about Capricorn, because the whole world runs under time and Capricorn and this idea of being successful and things like that. If you have Lilith and Capricorn, it is a serious energy, and you have to really know your place and know your purpose and work on that. Similar to Virgo, you got to know your purpose because you're an empty space already. We're already in an empty space, and Lilith will fill that up with her own ideas and leave you to fend for yourself or be alone, for yourself. What does it mean if your Lilith in Aquarius is trine Juno? Juno is a placement that is about marriage and like your person you're meant to be with. So Lilith in Aquarius would mean that you're meant to be with somebody who's a little bit more ferocious, who's more fierce, who's a little bit chaotic. And Aquarius is also about being against the grain. So the biggest thing that you have to handle is understanding that this is not your atypical wife. This is somebody who is going to be maybe wanting to be a little bit of a concubine, wanting to have a little orgy, wanting to be, and that's going to be your marriage life. Um, it may not be present within her right away because not every woman is embracing her dark goddess energy, but you will see that she has frustrations, and that is going to be why, because she's meant to be chaotic. She's meant to be opposite of Eve, which is the perfect woman. Okay, I did Lilith and Libra. When this is over, you'll be able to go back and listen to it, and I'll put a timestamp on this as well. Okay, we're actually moving into Lilith in Aquarius, or 11th house in a man's chart, and the role that she plays here, she is your pornography actress. Because Aquarius in 11th house rules over the networks, and the internet really is used for porn. Let's all be honest. And so Lilith here will be a physical portrayal, okay? A physical portrayal of your pornography actress, in which she would be willing to do whatever it is that you like, and Aquarius is ruled by groups of people, so this is an orgy placement. Okay, threesomes, foursomes, or the whole dang on party. College hazes, college, uh, you know, what do you call it? Fraternities, sororities, the whole dang on party. Everybody's having sex with each other. So Lilith is a physical portrayal of that. So it could actually be an actual person that plays that role, has curiosity, interest, wants to connect with everybody. Very similar to third house, in which these houses do aspect each other, right? In the sense of friendships and organizations, right? So if it's not, like I said, sex is through the mind or through the body. So it can actually be physical orgies, but it could also be that she just wants to get to know all of your friends. She wants to know everybody that you connect with. She wants to merge herself. There's no formal boundary between her and you and your people. So your people's her people, your people's her community, right? And she wants everyone to know who she is. Her presence wants to be felt, right, through you and your community, which means like you're going to go hang out with the guys. She wants to come and hang out with the guys too. Not because she's one of the guys like Lilith and Aries, but because she wants to infiltrate those guys with her body, with her sex, with her love, with her divine dark goddess energy, with her ideas, with her chaos. She wants to see what it is that your friends and your associations, what is it that they think is right, and she wants to come and wrong them. Maybe not necessarily with a lot of ferocity, but with simple ideas, seeds of ideas, because Aquarius is not fierce as much as it is philanthropic. So she wants to come in and see what it is that everybody's doing and thinking, and she wants to come and change, shake up the earth a little bit around them. She wants to create earthquakes in the minds of your associates and friendships and the things that you are connected with, right? The groups and people that you're connected with. Like, so she wants to be merged with you and all of these physical people. And Lilith will be enticing to you because you like friends. And Lilith in Aquarius deeply is connected to their friends. And don't be scared, like, if this next phrase bothers you, but you kind of like have sex with your friends in the sense that some of you actually have sex with your friends, physical sex, but some of you guys just merge with your friends. And that's what sex is. It's a merging, like a brotherhood, a sisterhood, a connection with your friends that's so deep, so spiritual, so intact, right? And they bring you this concept of security because it's on the axis of the fixed axis of Aquarius, where Taurus lies as well. And they want to bring you security, that group that you're associated with. So you guys are so connected by this, maybe one memory, this one event or party, or just being together for a long time, because Saturn energy is here. So something about you and this connection, this network of people is so sacred. And when Lilith comes here, she wants to be a part of that. She wants to be like the virus in that network, right? So that everybody gets a little bit of her. Don't be surprised if you see some hidden traits of like this Lilith role wanting your friends to fantasize about her. Okay. Doesn't mean that you actually have to have sex with them, but it's kind of her desire, her dark desire. So what do you do with that? How do you control that power? You just don't let her come into all of your parties and associations. She's going to try to, though, I promise you. Okay, make her have her own friends and tell her to have her own life. Not all the time, but make it even. Don't let her hang out with you and your friends all the time. And you're going to want that too, because your Lilith and Aquarius energy wants to be associated with friends, because you may have felt like an outcast, and she could be that friend that shows you where you may have even not fit in with your own friends. She could be that placement that fills in the parts of you that feel like people don't understand you, not even your own friends, not even your network of people. So you will have the tendency to want her to come, because she fulfills a very strong role in the friendship arena as well, right? So you'll be fighting yourself, you'll be fighting that own need sometimes to have that energy be around you because she's a succubus to your network. And in the bedroom, this could manifest in which she might want or hint to doing an orgy, right? And this might be a fantasy of yours. It might be something that you both are in tuned with. But you really got to take it seriously. This is not to be played with this energy, because you can fall to the concept that you might lose this person. You might fall to the concept that, the real consequences of orgies. Why consequences? Because Aquarius is ruled by Saturn, and Saturn is all about consequences. This is not like a fun area. Now, if you have Lilith and Leo, you might be able to get away with consequences sometimes, or for at least a certain amount of time. But in Aquarius, you always have to face your consequences. Now, the last one is Pisces, and it's very similar to Aquarius and the idea of this fantasy like lifestyle and networks, right? But it becomes more enclosed. And so Lilith in Pisces, or Lilith in the 12th house, is somebody who fantasizes, but it's like something that they can't reach, which is why pornography actually works well here too. In the 11th house, in Aquarius, she's a pornography player. Like, it's an actual physical person that may actually embody like the energy of a pornography star, right? Because she may be more fluid in her sexuality. In the 12th house, it's something that you can't quite grasp. So it's actually physically watching pornography, physically watching sexy movies and foreign movies, and being enticed by exotic things, which brings me and leads me to the gentle reminder from goddess Lilith, Sagittarius Sun square Pisces Lilith. Anything with Jupiter squares, right? So you're having Sag and Pisces, you're dealing with a certain energy that I can talk about here, because Pisces embodies everything, right? So this is the first. Let's talk about the fact that Sagittarius, taken from Leo and Sagittarius, both are biased when it comes to bloodlines. Okay. And when you're looking at Pisces, it's more esoteric, ancestral. When you're looking at Sagittarius, it's more physical, right? So Sagittarius might like a certain color, skin color, to fuck with, like to have sex with, right? Pisces, it might be the same thing, but it's deeper. It's more on the subconscious of why they want it, right? It might be because they're trying to escape their own bloodline. This is deep, y'all. Okay. Pisces is a sign of escaping, right? And the Jupiterian energy of Sagittarius brings in this concept of bias. So, um, or exotic. Okay. So when we're looking at Sagittarius, we want exotic explorations. Okay. When it comes to Pisces, especially with a Sagittarius square Pisces, they too might want something exotic, an exotic pornography category that they would never have thought to experience. This can be something that is very deeply taboo, or just very off what you would think this person likes, okay? And the person that embodies Lilith in the 12th house, or Lilith in Pisces, is going to be willing to play that role for you if they can handle it, of course. They want to be your that thing that you worship. Again, Sagittarius Lilith. In Pisces, it becomes that thing that you worship. They want to be the object of your attention, the same idea of worship. But they are understanding that it's not just them, it's your fantasy. So they need to become a fantasy of yours as well. Okay. So Lilith and Pisces, or in the 12th house, have a deep addiction to pornography, have a deep addiction to people that they can't have, okay? Um, in relationships, because Pisces is clandestine affairs. It's very difficult for some people to be in a relationship with Lilith and Pisces, because you never quite feel like you always, like they're there. There's sometimes they're trying to escape you. So you have to be willing to be that person that they want to escape, and you have to be willing to be the person that they're escaping to. And in a man's chart, you might possibly be the one that is trying to escape, right? You're trying to escape your relationship, escape your lifestyle, escape everything, right? So a Lilith who understands this and embodies this and she comes into your life, she will be that escape for you, right? But what this can lead to if you don't have control is, again, similar to Virgo, you lose your lifestyle, you lose your willpower, you lose your sense of purpose. It's on the Virgo axis. So you can just live your life in the like on the couch, like sex and drugs. Yeah, it's like rock star life, but you never leave the house, right? So with this placement, you have to actually find purpose. You have to see what it is that you're trying to escape and take responsibility for the fact that if you're trying to escape it, you're the one who put it there in the first place. So know that you have a choice in life and don't be so susceptible to everything that just comes in and out of your life like you have no control over it. Right? Do not be the victim and play the victim role with a Lilith and Pisces, because somebody will come in and take advantage of you. Right? And then you'll be mad at them because they took over your life, but you were just a doormat the whole way. You literally had the door open with the doormat that said, "Come and be my fantasy and I'll give you everything I got." That was your doormat. That was your welcome mat. So with Lilith and Pisces, you have to be willing to see what it is that take responsibility for the things in your life, for the choices that you've made. And from there, you can find purpose in being able to at least contain and control the people and the succubus energy that's coming into your life and wants to encompass all of you. The biggest message here is that as men, for my fellas out there, for my kings and my gods, you can be an empty vessel in this feminine war of Lilith. And you may have practice control and abstinence, but if you have not developed the relationship with Lilith, no matter how much you abstain from sex, you're going to come back and you're just going to fall right into the well. You're going to lose everything that you worked for, because all you've done is separate yourself from the energy. You have not actually created a relationship with it. The only way to create a relationship with Lilith is to face her face to face and look at that manifestation and be conscious of it, and have mistakes made where you lose your power, and have mistakes made where you feel like you're empty, and then try to pick yourself back up and try to do it again and try to be better at it. You could literally have time off where you don't have sex, but then you might want to have time where you have sex every day. And you just constantly work at the muscle of control and facing Lilith as you do it. Look at the foreplay that's happening before you have sex. Understand that that is Lilith energy too, because it's pulling you in based off of your weaknesses, based off of your empty spaces, based off of the people that weren't there for you. And this is very big in Pisces, because Pisces is all encompassing, right? It's all of the experiences. It's from Aries to Pisces. You've experienced it all. And at this point, Lilith is like, even in your past life where you didn't have the right wife, where you didn't have the right mother, where you didn't have the right daughter, whatever, like, I will be everything you want me to be. And I will play that role, because succubus energy is sucking up all the knowledge of what you need and then trying to fulfill it so that she can manipulate and be powerful over you. And Pisces is not as much of a penetrating energy. So my men who have Pisces there, you also are receiving. You have can penetrate, but you've got to penetrate with the softness of your own receptors, meaning that you have to be vulnerable, you have to be honest, you have to be open, right? You have to say you don't know when you really don't know, instead of pretending like you do know, because that's also that Jupiterian square with Sagittarius. Jupiter is the wise one, and Jupiter is a classic ruler of Pisces. So it's like you pretend like you know things, you pretend and act like you're this thing that you're not, and then you pull in people and Lilith energy that sees right through that. And that's why they will try to suck you dry. You'll be trying to pull the penis out of the vagina, and she's clamping onto you and she won't let you go, because that's Pisces energy, like especially a male Pisces with Lilith. She can't, you won't be able to come out of her grasp, right? You'll be trying to get out and she'll be like, no, let's go again. I need more energy. So this is the placement that really needs to hone in on masturbation. And this is one of the placements where masturbation comes from. Because what is masturbation? Master the ba. What is the ba? In Egyptian language, it's the ba and the ka. The ba is the body, the ka is the spirit. So when you look at masturbation, you're mastering the body. You master the whole body in masturbation, then you will be even with Lilith, because she will really pull you in and under in Pisces. Pisces is the ocean. It's like that big squid that comes and pulls your whole boat down, that just completely encompasses you. Okay. So Lilith in Pisces is one of the strongest dark Lilith energies, because you don't even need to actually have a physical being there, especially in the Matrix, the false mother Matrix, where you have pornography and all you need is to video games, smoke, drink, jerk off, and stay in that cycle. No purpose, no nothing else left. And Lilith is working through that pornography. She's working through your fantasy, working through your escapism. Okay, so bang on Mark. Goddess Lilith says the Sag Sun square Pisces Lilith man likes to be dominated by exotic women. Yeah. And so, what is exotic? Exotic is different. So, exotic is just another word for escaping. So, when you see exotic women, it's the idea that whatever you are familiar with, it's just escaping that to something else. So, there it really is no, in my opinion, no actual exotic woman. It's exotic is just different from what you know, right? So, it's still a form of escaping, and that is Pisces. Pisces is escapist, right? So she will be exotic. If it's actual Lilith playing in Pisces, she will become exotic. She can change her skin color. She can change her hair color. In this matrix, she can change her whole demeanor and become that for you, right? Wayne Peak, hi. I have Lilith and Virgo, trine Taurus Sun, and conjunct Virgo Moon. Well, if you have Virgo, Lilith, and Moon, that has a lot to do with mother energy. It has a lot to do with your relationship to the mother being almost nitpicky, wanting perfection out of you. This Lilith and Virgo can manifest in wanting somebody who um, is like the mother, but not like the mother in the sense that they play a mother role. So they might be nurturing to you in the place where your mother wasn't, but they also are the kind of woman that your mother would want you to be with. So a lot of this has to do with the Lilith dark goddess energy of the mother's projection onto you. And he doesn't look like that. What if your asteroid Lilith is in conjunct to Black Moon Lilith? In conjunction is when you're looking at aspects, it's either harmonious or not. So in conjunction means not harmonious, but exoteric things. So if your asteroid Lilith and Black Moon are in conjunct, then that means that it's an internal world that you have to deal with first. I have a video on the four Liliths and how they manifest, because asteroid Lilith is the one that wants to manifest because you can see it. Where Black Moon Lilith, you can't see it. So what you really have to do is look at your inner world and where Black Moon Lilith is, right? Because that's the one that's more evident to you. And look at asteroid Lilith and be like, well, that is the one that is pushing out my chaotic energy. That's the part that people are going to see about you, right? So just try your best not to go off of what people are seeing, and you got to go off of what you know to be chaotic about you, right? There's like the asteroid Lilith is like your Lilith rising. Like if you could imagine Lilith rising, that is the part of you that people are going to know you to be a little off, a little chaotic, a little bit. Oh, this is where this person gets crazy. That's where asteroid Lilith is, right? People, you might think that you're more sexy in one way, but asteroid Lilith will show where people find you to be sexy, to be alluring, to be incubus or succubus energy. So, for instance, my asteroid is in Sagittarius in the third house. So, a lot of people see me. I mean, even as a kid, in, teenager growing up, it was always, all the boys were always like, "Oh, your mind. Like, I just love your mind." That's Sagittarius third house, right? That was my asteroid Lilith. Now I have a black moon Taurus Lilith. So my internal space is like, yeah, like I'm just a hedonist. I just love sweets. I love tasting good things. I love, I'm more in my body, and couldn't see my mask, which is my asteroid Lilith. Your asteroid Lilith is what everybody else sees because it's the more manifested energy of Lilith. I hope that makes sense. So what about Pisces Lilith conjunct Pisces Venus? Okay, so that's just a upgrade to everything I was saying about Pisces Lilith, in which Venus is relationships, okay? Venus is, we're together, we're in a relationship, girlfriend, boyfriend, marriage, whatever, right? In the 12th house with Pisces, in the 12th house or in Pisces, Venus Lilith is going to want to be with something that they're not with. So you are either in a relationship and you want to be with somebody else, or somebody else is in a relationship, they want to be with you, right? It's a clandestine affairs, classically, placement. So it's a longing for something and escaping from where you are, which is Venus, your relationship, into the dark, chaotic world of your concubine or your mister or your mistress or whatever it is that it is for you. Lilith conjunct Goddess Lilith says, I've read that people with Lilith conjunct Venus love to hate. I could see that, but I think that anything with Lilith conjuncted would have a little bit of a ferocity or hateration to it. Cause it's just about the aspect of that planet. So if Lilith conjunct Venus loves to hate, what do they love to hate? They probably love to hate on people's fashion and beauty and relationships, and why is she with that guy? She ain't nothing. He ain't nothing. Like Lilith conjunct Venus would love to hate on Venus like things. That probably would make more things. So like Lilith conjunct the rising would probably be like they love to hate on, you know, people's like first impressions. Like, I just met this girl and she was a hot mess, like something like that, if that makes sense. So it's like a puzzle that you put together, and each energy like will inform you about the energy, if that makes sense. So this is it. This is my Lilith in the signs for men, and I hope that this helps out everyone out there. The women, for understanding how they can absolutely encompass, control, and suck up men, especially in this feminine war where you need more power, right? But being able to look at your own self, your own needs, your own Lilith, and being like, look, like, let me control this, or let me gain his insight, his power. Let me be guided by my man or whatever man I want to be with in a way that still empowers him. And then you can walk away from that situation, go into the feminine wars with more balance, and you'll probably win better that way. Okay. And then for the men to also be divine masculine power in this feminine world that we're about to go into, and really still being able to penetrate, being able to care for your wives, your girlfriends, and your children, because men will play a very big role in their children and helping them to grow in a world where there's more feminine wards, okay? Especially with your daughters, but also with your sons. You got to teach them both based off of their energies, right? So it's a very, I think this is actually one of the more important topics, because the women already know, but the men, I feel like, are trying to win in a feminine war with masculine habits. And so it's not about destroying your masculine habits, but integrating it with understanding the mystery and the darkness and understanding the unseen, because then you are more powerful than you've ever been. Even in the patriarchal system where there was tiers and hierarchy, you are maybe even truer gods with combining your understanding so far with what's coming, which is dark goddess energy. Okay, so thank you guys so much. I actually enjoyed this. It was actually a challenge to go through these signs. and speak on a level that is about taming Lilith. And I think that's for me because my name is very much so tied to Lilith and succubus energy. I will start to talk to you guys and reveal myself in my next live where I talk about queens versus goddesses. And I'll explain to you why it is that I think that I have to do this subject. Because your name is a book, your name is the oath, your name is the agreement that you came into this world to do. And my name is very much so tied to these topics. So I think that this was energy work for me and for you if you've tuned in. Thank you so much. I love you all. I wish you the best on this erection day. And I will see you in the next live. Peace and love. Bye.